members of parliament back ending COVID-19 tax relief. President Trump pardons 2 convicted by Russian investigation. President Putin signs bill giving Russian presidents lifetime immunity. Details of these and more after this break. I am Esther Mohammed. Now the news in detail. Kenyan members of parliament have voted to end tax cuts put in place in early April to help citizens to deal with the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. President Uhuru Kenyatta announced the relief just a week after the country recorded its first COVID-19 case. The measures included reduction of income tax, value-added tax and corporate tax by between 22% and 5%. The steps were meant to cushion Kenyans and businesses from the pandemic, which greatly affected the tourism. I'll take that again. The steps were meant to cushion Kenyans and businesses from the pandemic, which greatly affected the tourism and agriculture sectors, which are the backbone of the country's economy. But on Tuesday, MPs said the measures were not sustainable. Last week, the finance minister announced that the country had lost nearly $600 million in revenue since the tax break began. The country is also facing a growing health challenge as it records an increase in COVID-19 cases amid a strike by doctors working in public hospitals. The doctors have been complaining about poor working conditions and lack of personal protective equipment, PPE. Sudan and Ethiopia have begun negotiations to demarcate their border following a clash in a disputed area last week. Ethiopian forces reportedly ambushed Sudanese troops along the border, killing 4 and wounding more than 20 others. Sudan has since deployed troops to Al-Fakak's region in the contested area in some fertile land which Sudan claims but which has been cultivated by Ethiopian farmers. The area borders Ethiopia's Tigray region, where fighting last month forced more than 50,000 refugees to flee into Sudan. Elsewhere, the United States President Donald Trump has issued pardons to 15 people, including 2 figures convicted of lying to the FBI during an inquiry into the U.S. president's campaign. Former President aides, judge, and attorney Alex Van der Zwaan were amongst those who received the presidential pardon. Trump also pardoned 4 security guards involved in a 2017 massacre in Iraq and 2 former congressmen. He is expected to issue more pardons before leaving office next month. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday signed legislation that will grant former presidents lifetime immunity once they leave office. The bill, which was published online on Tuesday, gives former presidents and their families immunity from prosecution for crimes committed during their lifetime. They will be exempt from questioning by police or investigators, as well as searches or arrests. The legislation was part of constitutional amendments that were approved in a nationwide vote that allow Putin to remain president until 2036. Prior to the bill becoming law, former presidents were immune from prosecution only from crimes committed while in office. The legislation Putin signed on Tuesday will additionally grant former presidents a lifetime seat in the Federation Council or Senate. The body of a Pakistani human rights activist Karima Baloch has been found in Toronto, Canada, where she had been living for 5 years in exile. Baloch, who is a campaigner from the Restiv region in Balochistan in western Pakistan, was a vocal critic of the Palestinian military and state. Toronto police issued an appeal after she went missing on Sunday and later confirmed that her body had been found. Police said there were not believed to be any suspicious circumstances. In 2016, The 37-year-old Baloch was named in the BBC's annual list of 100 inspirational and influential women for her works as a campaigner. She left Pakistan in 2015 after terrorism charges were levied against her. And that's the news around the world. Before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. Kenyan members of parliament back ending COVID-19 tax relief. President Trump pardons 2 convicted by Russian investigation. And finally, President Putin signs bill giving Russian presidents lifetime immunity. Do remember that the continued unity of Nigeria is a collective responsibility. Be sure to play your part. Do not forget you can listen to us anywhere in the world by visiting our website at www.kufm.net or download our mobile app from the Google Play Store. We're also live on YouTube at KUFM Nigeria. You can also listen to us on radiogarden.com. KUFM's news around the world